Spring 2023 is unfair. I was going to cut down my watch list this time, but this season is so stacked that I've barely dropped anything. Winter was good, but spring is a whole other beast. So let's cut to the chase. I'll throw in my first impressions of every new show, with the help of my rating system. Maybe you were as busy as I was, and you might have missed something. I'll be throwing them around somehow, and at the end will be my 5 favorites. Oh, and hit that funny button and all that good stuff. Anyway, let's get right to it.
Talk about the anime.
We've got an Otaku Elf shut-in that performs prayers in a shrine, but pretty much only plays games, watches anime, drinks Red Bull, all that epic stuff. She's taken care of by her maiden, a young girl who wishes she were a grown-up. They bicker about how she should go out more, but the dynamic is nice. And unlike Komaru, I actually like the slobby elf. Voice acting helps out a lot. It's funny how they portray her neat side, but they also combine it with the importance of her role to the locals. And it got a little deep, with her being ancient, and how that affects her emotionally. Good visuals, it's interesting and fun, might be a sleeper. Before HBO beats on the Potter horse again, here's an anime with a wizard world of its own.
It's Leviosa.
But adds a beefy muggle as a protag, and it's hilarious. He's so strong that he slaps magic away, and he ends up entering the not Hogwarts school so that society can accept him. It's like taking Harry Potter, mixing in some One Punch Man, and putting in a lot of good comedy, and I really like it so far. Visuals work well for the vibe, and it has some great voice acting. But yeah, I think they were influenced by HP a bit too much. Like, come on. But who cares? I'm sure I'll be watching. Blue Orchestra follows the color trend with the story of a young violinist who decided to quit after his dad and teacher cheated on his mom, but now he's unhappy and unmotivated. One day he hears a tsundere-ish girl trying to play, hijinks happen, and his counselor gets him to teach her. Good start. It's like Dance Dance Dancer, and funnily enough, Blue Period. Add the good visuals, and if the characters work, I'll stick around. Let's check out some rom-com and romance shows. My clueless first friend is Cuteness Overload. It's about Akane, the so-called Grim Reaper, and Taiyo, the happy-go-lucky transfer student who really wants to be her friend. These kids are so cute together. Taiyo's pure-hearted nature works well in turning around a kind of situation at school, and helps her come out of her shell. He is a bit too gullible, but the amount of oblivious riz this kid has is crazy, not even trying, and he has her blushing, and it's so wholesome. Only thing is that it's a bit too simplistic, and it might get repetitive for some, plus I'm not a huge fan of the watercolor for the hair, but those are nitpicks. As a fan of these innocent shows, it seems great. The Dangers in My Heart sort of switches the characters around. Ichikawa is a typical teen going through his edgy emo phase, and he's short. While he does start off really cringy, once he falls for Yamada, the tall airheaded girl in his class, it changes the whole dynamic, going from wanting to kill her to wanting to protect her, since, yeah, she's not all there. It's a weird dynamic. I wasn't super into it at first, but there's glances of these characters getting better at the end, and visually it's pretty nice. But stuff like the sidecast making super pervy jokes and the edginess doesn't fully convince me yet, but I'll stick around a little to see what it does. 3 guys are constantly bullied in a school full of punks, and when the main guy gets a magic scroll from his dead grandpa, he wishes to be able to fight back. But instead, he magically attracts every girl, but only the baddies. He then gets the strongest gal by his side, completely protecting him. The whole idea of the girls being hypnotized is very ewy, but thankfully the protag isn't the kind of guy to take advantage of that situation, if you know what I mean. And there are some good gags, but what holds it back is the designs, which I'm not a fan of. It is different though. If they can find a way to make it interesting, maybe I can tolerate it, but it is the weakest romance show of the season. Sacrificial Princess is a Beauty and the Beast kind of deal, where a sacrificial girl is brought to the Beast King, but they end up forming a bond, she finds out he's actually half human, and they stick together to rule the kingdom. This one surprised me. The spunky main girl works well with the tsundere king, visuals are nice, and unlike Tale of Outcast last season, this is more fun. An interesting shoujo I wouldn't mind seeing. Speaking of, a shoujo mangaka is forced to work hard for his younger siblings after their dad passes away, and he ends up hiring an assistant to be able to meet his deadlines. Thankfully, he finds a rookie artist in the beautiful but reserved Shiori. Starts off really calming with them just drawing together and working hard, but after an all-nighter, he finds out she's the princess of the Star People, and now they're bound by fate. I mean, it was out of nowhere, but color me intrigued. Visuals are fine, but the slice of life vibe is definitely there. It depends on what they'll do after the twist, but I might stay to find out. And we've got a girl who got dumped by her boyfriend, so she tries to vent her stress in the game they bonded over. She encounters a hardcore gamer who's not really talkative, and they end up arguing, which was very funny. She then decides to go to an event for the MMO to make her ex jealous, and while that doesn't end up working, she bumps into a good looking guy, who ends up being the pro gamer she found in game. She gets him to pretend to be his date, but it doesn't pan out since he's not really into hooking up. A real gamer. Despite all this, a little bit of a spark pops up. She gets drunk while they're at dinner, and at the end, she's in his bed, and this dude is already up in gaming. Wow, this show. This girl is an emotional mess, and I love her. The way she talks, emotes, and lashes out is really cute and funny. So much personality. And the guy is aloof, but he's not a jerk. They might work well together. To top it off, the visuals are awesome. Great character designs, and the gags, transitions, and different styles work wonders for the goofy rom-com vibe. This was so close to being in my top 5, and it's definitely a must-watch. Giving love a break, let's do a variety rundown. The Legendary Hero is Dead is a fantasy comedy where the hero dies, very stupidly, and the guy who put the trap that killed him ends up in his zombie body. So now he must pretend to be the hero. Super fast paced, but it has some funny reactions. Although it doesn't do the pervy comedy well enough. I don't know, could need another episode to save it. Though the OP is easily the best thing it has. My Home Hero is more realistic and gritty. A dad finds out that her daughter is being abused by her boyfriend, who also is a yakuza. With her in mind and his life in danger, the show gets real, and he ends up killing him, which will be some trouble for his family. Interesting and a bit heavy. Problem is, the animation and the designs aren't great. Very inconsistent, and some effects just feel off. But again, the story will make me go back and see if it's worth it. Changing gears, we've got an alien girl exploring the Earth to find something to save it from being destroyed, so she discovers cute animals. And that's it. It's a simple show that might get repetitive, but if you're looking for a good time, it's harmless and fun. As if Japanese anime wasn't enough, I found the hidden goodie in X and Y from China. It centers on two guys going into an escape room hosted by a mysterious girl. Great vibe for the concept. Very suspenseful and full of twists, and it has great visuals. A ton of potential here. After Link Click, I'll never underestimate these shows. We got a superficial girl who acts like the perfect angel, but does it just to get a rich man in the future. After accidentally bumping into another girl, she gets forced into working in a cafe with a shoujo theme, where they act as students who love to flirt. Honestly, I hate the characters. The whole reason the MC is working there is so stupid for me. They're straight up forcing her there. She then misunderstands what another girl was going for in the story, and she immediately gets mad at her. Like, what? You barely explained what was going on in the first place. What's wrong with you? I know she's probably tsundere, but I just hate the attitude. Maybe if you're into unnecessary drama and Yuri, it could be for you, but I'll barely give it another chance. Cafe Terrace is a little better. Guy inherits a cafe from his late grandma, but discovers that 5 cute girls were living with her. He wanted to tear the place down to make a parking lot, but after reminiscing, spending time with the girls, and a lot of ecchi nonsense, he decides to revive the place. There's a bit of emotion, but it's hidden behind the enormous amount of fan service shoved down your throat. And the characters are average, though it's not terrible. But if you can't stomach the constant fan service, this might not be for you. But it's not as crazy as Magical Destroyers, where Japan goes to war against otaku culture, so the otaku hero forms a revolution with gamers and weebs, and 3 magical girls, to try to fight back. A neat concept, although kind of done already, but the big thing is how it emulates the Studio Trigger reveal. Crazy fights, giant explosions, their reactions, all that. But it doesn't seem honest to me, like it's trying too hard to copy that vibe. Also, while the animation can be good, models and designs are inconsistent. And I'm not immediately invested either. There could be something, but I'm not optimistic. Marginal Service kinda feels the same. Ex-cop gets recruited to join a quirky group that fights monsters disguised as humans, with the Power Ranger / construction worker look. It's very anime, but also super generic. Hard to give this one a shot with all the better content. Honestly though, there were only 3 shows I dropped immediately this season. Opus Colors, where a new art style is created in the future, but it's just AR without the goggles and it looks awful. Random music videos out of nowhere and some BL bait. it's just nothing. Just like this video game adaptation of an idol space squad. It's moe, but it's barely something. And the story of a school that teaches you how to be a VTuber. And I don't want to go into that rabbit hole. But even if you're a fan of that, this is very bare bones. Could have been something more creative. Now let's talk about isekai, because there are a lot of shows. Some really good, and some others. Cheat Skill in Another World is a power fantasy where the protag is living his worst life. He's fat, bullied, disowned by his family, you know, over the top bad. Luckily, he finds a door that magically transports him to an isekai house that acts like a beginner's hub with some insane cheats. He levels up, and he wakes up in the real world, ripped out of his mind. So now the bullying stops, a rich girl he saved somehow figures out it's him with no prior knowledge, and of course he's gonna be a love interest. Man, this really is turn off your brain stuff. The world is so shallow, and this all happens so fast. It's ridiculous. It does have some great animation and decent designs, if you can ignore the gap. But the story and it being too convenient doesn't really hook me, especially in this season. A whole class gets summoned to an isekai, but this is actually the second time going to this world for the main guy. So he has the experience, he finds his old party, and now they have to face the war he tried to avoid 5 years ago. It's a decent setup, but I don't think they'll nail it with these one-note characters. Especially with the darkness ripoff. Kinda forgettable. Same goes for the Aristocrats isekai. Teen with the most unconvincing voice ever dies protecting some girls and is revived as a rich toddler. And it's the generic formula. He gets OP powers but wants to lay low. Girls fight over him, you know what I mean. And while it has some decent animation, the pacing is non-stop exposition, with joke after joke that don't really land. I wouldn't waste my time. And we got my one-hit kill sister, which is just two-hit mom, but now with the Nissan. The guy is so weak and close to dying that as he visualizes his sister, she forcefully goes into a coma to go save him. Like, come on. And of course, she's crazy strong and confident and saves the day. But she's down bad for him. It's so uncomfortable, which makes it more baffling how it looks so damn good. Perfect setting, good designs, and some great Sakuga out of nowhere. It's so alive and it has no right to be. For visuals alone, I might give it one more episode, but the relationship is just no. Going back to the good stuff, we've got another isekai otome story, this time from a novel, where the girl reincarnates as a side character fated to die. And obvious comparisons to I'm the Villainess aside, this has a more serious tone. Well, looking great, having a good OST, some clever writing, and an interesting protag. I really want to see her improvise and get her way. This is on my list, for sure. These next two isekai got a big reaction from me. Dead Mount Deathplay, with a pretty edgy title, is a ride. Go in blind if you can, but basically we start off with a cool fight between a powerful knight and a necromancer. They're evenly matched, and they share a power that lets them see dead people's souls. The corpse god whips out a finishing spell, but is broken by the knight. And all of a sudden, we're in Shinjuku. It's a reverse isekai. Polka revives with a big neck wound after getting axed by a contract killer, but he's still being hunted. The Otherworld spirit slowly is getting accustomed to Japanese and recalls this kid's memories, which is a really cool detail. And with his back against the wall, spoilers, it's revealed that it's actually the corpse god. I love how ambiguous it is because I was shocked by the twist. So we have a demon in the real world, mixed with some crazy assassin characters, plus it looks nice. I don't know where this goes, but I'm fully on board. But the one that got me the most, and seriously might be one of the funniest things I've seen, is KamiKatsu. The first episode of this show is an experience. Guy revives in a world with no conception of God, after being tortured by his dad's cult. He expects adventure, but ends up as a farmer in a town filled with quirky people, to say the least. But the big thing here is the ridiculously great comedic timing, and the changes in animation out of nowhere. But it can be so bad, but I love it anyway.
Oh shit!
This feels like an anime YouTube poop, but it also tries to be serious in between the madness. It's almost whiplash inducing, apart from the animation going hard, just to mix in some terrible CGI. That kinda seems on purpose. I feel I can't do it justice. I was just speechless, and also laughing my butt off. It's not for everyone, but it's a definite must-watch for me. Another one of my favorites that barely didn't reach top 5. Speaking of which, Insomniacs After School is about two teens that are having trouble sleeping. Think of Call of the Night, but way less crazy. It describes this feeling so perfectly, and how it can affect your life, making you grumpy at school, or just plain tired. Our protags meet in the abandoned astronomy club, where they can recharge during the day, and get together at night so they can just just explore and hang out. And it's just so chill. Plus I adore the chemistry these characters have, especially from the girl. So cute and so positive, regardless of the insomnia. And it's nice to see her rubbing off on our less happy main boy. And I love the visuals. Some of the best night scenes in a while. Beautiful backgrounds, nice colors, and great expressions. I relate a lot with their issue. So this one hit home a bit. A nice watch all around. Let's get the big one out of the way. If you haven't already, you need to watch Oshi No Ko. That prologue was amazingly done. Easily one of the best introductions to the show. If you somehow haven't seen any spoilers, go in blind. And if you're worried that it's only an idol show, don't worry. There's a lot going on. It's the inner workings of the Japanese entertainment system, and its honest and kinda dark nature. Mixed perfectly with fun moments and such a creative premise made by the creator of freaking Kaguya-sama. Topped off by its amazing visuals, gripping story and character designs. No wonder why this got to first place in my anime lists. Although, as an anime only, there's only one doubt. Can it top this amazing start? I'm excited to see what's coming, but they have a hard act to follow. But regardless, it's an easy must watch for me. It has babies doing this. What else do you need? But I feel these next three are worthy of the hype too. Mappa keeps the great productions going with the story of a ninja who's sentenced to death, but amazingly every attempt to end his life has failed. But he's indifferent. He welcomes dying since he left his wife, as he didn't believe he deserved her because of his bloody past. As a last resort, they have the pro swordwoman Yagiri try to take his life. Finally, he starts to feel the real danger and is worried about dying. She proves that he does care for his wife, and that he just wants to live peacefully with her. So, he gets the opportunity to get a pardon, with the condition of going into the underworld to get the elixir of life. He accepts, and will join other death row inmates in order to get back to his love. This is just beautiful to look at. Expressive characters, great animation, cool colors that fit the era's vibe, an interesting story with a cool protag, solid OST, everything is great so far. The combination of fantasy and ninjas works really well here. It's hype. PA Works doesn't back down either. Skip and Loafer is an instant joy to watch. Mitsumi decides to leave the countryside to go to a high school in Tokyo. She's super ambitious and confident that everything will go perfect. And of course, it doesn't. She ends up lost and late for her welcoming ceremony, but thankfully, a tall and chill Sosuke runs into her and leads the way. The whole scene of them running to school just perfectly describes who these characters are, and the immediate connection they can have. And they're both so likable. Her over-the-top reactions to everything and her determination are awesome. Plus the visuals just deliver so hard. Very pure, funny and wholesome. It's major comfy at its finest. It's an immediate must-watch from the get-go. And the last one didn't hold any punches. Heavenly Delusion by Production IG explores a post-apocalyptic Japan where crazy man-eating monsters roam. We see a school of kids being raised by robots, and a pair of young survivors on the outside trying to find a place called Heaven. You can expect the typical beats of a survival story, but splash in some wicked sci-fi laser guns, great fights, and the mystery of what happened and what is going on with these kids, premonitions, and more. Visually, it's amazingly done. Beautiful animation, great choreography for the action, characters move with so much expression, detailed environments, while adding tense drama, realness, and even some awkward moments. This has all the signs of being the next summertime render, being locked behind the mouse's cage and all that. Do not let this one pass you by. Check it out.
It's a giraffe!
And those were the new anime of spring 2023. I didn't even get a chance to talk about the sequels. Just to mention a few, Demon Slayer and Dr. Stone have been really fun, Gundam picks up exactly where we were, and it quickly goes hard. We get some fun side stories for Ranking of Kings, Birdie Wing, Magus Bride, and Tonikawa are back, and we got a freaking Konosuba prequel based on Megumin, plus a bunch more. In all fronts, this season has been crazy. I mean it when I say I was gonna back off from watching so many shows, but it's impossible to not get excited for all these. And as to why this video is late, I apologize for taking so long, but real life stuff, work and such makes it harder to commit 100% on these. But trust me, I still intend to keep going, so thank you for waiting. And I'll appreciate if you can subscribe, like and share, so someday I may be able to do this more than just for fun, who knows. But anyways, thanks so much for watching. And as always, it's been Jules, I hope you have a great one, and I'll see you all for the next one.